Okay, yesterday we were learning about images that you're allowed to have, you're not allowed to have. So somebody mentioned yesterday about dolls. I mean, a few people mentioned about dolls. If you're not allowed to make engraved images of people, not so many poskim we learned told a head itself is okay. Full body you can't. So the question is, how do you make? How do people play? Little girls play with dolls. So you discuss it. The poskim say a few things. First of all, it's only forbidden when you're making it to last permanently. Dolls, they rip, they break. They're seasonal. They don't last for very long. That's one thing. Second thing, it says that anything which is bizoyin, it's not. You don't respect it. Like they're right, dolls kids would play with on the floor, right? The dolls are on the floor, so it's not a respectable thing. So then, according to halacha, it would be allowed without any problem. But images that people have from either paper mache or things like that could be an issue. So, according to many opinions, if it's just a head, it's fine. Other opinions say no, but what?
Dragons. Like this is also Chinese, the Chinese dragon here. So they have this.
That's a different question about Vaad Rabbonim. That's nothing to do with images. That's another question. If they have
there's an image of a dragon sculpture. They have a lot of these.
Are you allowed to have them? You mean? No.
Yeah.
No. Because first of all, it's made for their Vaad Rabbonim, really.
And if it's not the Chinese dragon, if it's a fantasy dragon?
Again, people are today, people are very lenient today. Even the Rebbe was very lenient with these types of images and things like that. There's very makel in it. But again, people have these animals, like horses and things like that. The main issue is on the image of a person. Animals is not necessarily the same thing as a person. Person is stricter.
But there's like a stuffed animal versus a porcelain?
Yeah, stuffed animal is nothing. First of all, it's not made to last permanently, and also you throw it on the floor. I mean,
isn't there an issue if the animal is like a little piggy?
Oh, that's a spiritual issue. If the animal's not a kosher animal, you don't want little kids looking at non-kosher animals. Even though, by the way, a person is also a non-kosher animal.
Yeah.
We are you're not allowed to eat. Cannibalism is forbidden according to Torah. You're not allowed to eat a human. A person is a treif animal. We don't chew our cud unless we chew gum. And we don't have split hooves. So, halachically we're a treif animal. So, nevertheless, you can look at a person. Some of them, it says, in the beginning of Chumash, it says that after Hashem created Adam and the animals and everything, so the pasuk says, the fear of man will be over all the beasts of the field. In other words, by nature, Hashem said, it's a pasuk in Chumash, that all the animals will be afraid of Adam, of a person. That's so the question is, but today we don't find that animals are afraid of people. So why is it? So it says a very simple thing. The pasuk says, why are animals afraid of you? Because Hashem made person in the image of God. Which means as follows. When an animal, in the good old days, right? When an animal looked at a person, they saw the image of God on them. And that caused fear on the animal. When a person sins, so they lose that image of God on their face. So when an animal looks at us, all he sees is another animal. That's all he sees. He doesn't see a godly image on the face because we erase it, so to speak, with sins. And that's how, by the way, the Alter Rebbe in Tanya brings out from the Zohar about Daniel and the lion's den. We mentioned this many times. There's a famous story in Tanakh that Nebuchadnezzar threw Daniel into a lion's den and they were very hungry, and the miracle happened, nobody touched them. So everybody talks about the miracle that Hashem did. The Zohar says it wasn't a miracle. Daniel was a tzaddik. When the lion saw the image of a person, the image of God, they were afraid. That's it. It's nothing to do with them. It was a physical phenomenon, so to speak. They saw a godly image that people don't see, like Bilam's donkey saw the angel. We don't see any angels. So that caused this. So, it hasn't, what we see has an image so if a person is a godly person, you look at him, it's okay. Otherwise, you might sometimes be looking at another animal. Especially if we look in a mirror, we for sure see an animal. Unless you're a special person. So that's that. Now, okay, but again, anything that's not of a permanent basis, a respectful thing, that didn't happen. It's a very interesting thing. The Rebbe once spoke a sicha. I was there as a bacher still. I believe maybe I was married. I remember. The Rebbe spoke a sicha about girls playing with dolls. The Rebbe was speaking a sicha that women, by nature, have an intuition of family, having children, raising children, taking care of children. And the Rebbe said, you see this even by little girls. Usually the girls play with the dolls. Usually. So the Rebbe says, you see that even little girls play with dolls and they hold it like they're the mommy and this is the baby. And what's interesting, the Rebbe never had any children. When did the Rebbe ever see a girl play with a doll? If you think about it. The Rebbe's in his office the whole day. He didn't have babies with dolls in his house either. It was a very interesting thing, but he spoke a whole thing about, you see the way Hashem set up the world, that even girls play with little babies, dolls, because they want, they're practicing for being a Yiddish mother. Okay, another interesting din, which is in this same siman of Shulchan Aruch, is you're not allowed to make any replica of the utensils of the Beit Hamikdash. So, for instance, you're not allowed to make the shulchan the same size as the original, and a replica of it. But what's interesting, which is much more practical, you're not allowed to create a menorah. The menorah in the Beit Hamikdash has 7 branches. A person today is forbidden to make a menorah out of metal that has 7 branches. Even if it's electric lights, no lights, you take out the lights. That in halacha is called a replica of the menorah in the Beit Hamikdash. Even though the menorah in the Beit Hamikdash was much more intricate, they had the gevim and the prachim, all the designs and all the various different things. Nevertheless, it's forbidden for a person to have a menorah that has 7 branches. Even as if it's metal, it doesn't matter, not gold, as long as it's metal. You can make a menorah out of wood with 7 branches, but not a menorah with out of any metal. Which means that what happens if somebody has a family of 5 kids, okay, and they light Shabbos candles, 7 candles every week, yeah, the spouses and the 5 kids, and now they want to have a silver menorah made out of 7 branches. It doesn't matter, design, circular, round, up and down, it doesn't matter. Any menorah that has 7 branches is biblically forbidden to make. So what do? So a lot of times what they do is, they make a menorah out of 8, circular design, and on the top one, they'll put a silver design piece that fits into it. So you're only lighting 7 candles, but really the menorah has 8 branches, not 7. So what?
If I'm not mistaken, in the old city there's on display menorah that they made.
It can't be the Beit Hamikdash. No.
There's a museum there.
I know, but the question is if it's allowed, if it's not allowed. According to halacha, you're not allowed to do it. I didn't see a heter ever if it's made to learn how the Beit Hamikdash was, but again, maybe it was made out of metal. The question is officially a museum in Eretz Yisrael that they're saying that might have a menorah, a replica of the Beit Hamikdash. See, the Hanukkah menorah is not a problem because there's 8. And then if you have the Shamas, it's 9. I'm saying just a replica, I don't know.
Mizbeach is what they believe is looks like.
Huh?
It has the whole thing.
Now, some he brings down, but lapel we don't do it. It's a suffix deraisa. Kitzur brings down. There is an opinion that says if you have 6 around and 1 on top, it's allowed. But he says then also it's not true. The halacha is you shouldn't because it's a asim in atayra, so it's a biblical doubt. You're not allowed to make the oil that they had to anoint the kohanim. You're not allowed to make replica of the keteiros. Whoever does any of those things is chayiv. What is it? Chayiv kares, and if you do it b'sheg, you have to bring a carbon in time of Beit Hamikdash. So people have to be careful. Sometimes you buy candelabras, with 7 branches. So then what the person would have to do is buy 2, like 4 and 3 or 6 and 1. What?
What if it's a jewelry pendant with 7?
But if it's made out of metal, you can't do it because it doesn't matter even if it's not the size. Any metal, even if it's a pendant, you're not allowed to make any.
Well, you could use the pendant, you could use it's considered a mirror, you put a candle inside.
No, it says even if you don't.
Functional or non-functional?
It doesn't mean if it's functional. Even if it's not made to put oil, it's not. Doesn't matter.
You can't make an image of
The
it?
other things in the Beit Hamikdash you're not allowed to make. It has to be the exact size. The menorah, as long as it's 7 branches made out of metal, you're not allowed to do it.
So like a talus clip with the image of the menorah on
That's a talus. It's not metal.
it. The clip.
But they have with 7. They usually have with 5.
Some of these
I
pendants.
think
are
you
like-
can't see it when it is.
They're just like a picture where it's not real branches, they're all connected.
No, then it's not a menorah. It's not 7 branches. Then it's 1 branch. If it's not separate branches, okay, and it's all connected, then it's 1 branch. It's 1 piece.
If it's 7 inserts, it's not.
Then it's not a problem. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Dependent. If it's separate branches, it's forbidden. But if it's 1 piece and it just looks like 7, then it's a different story. Then it's not 7 branches. So that wouldn't be a problem again. But you can't make any replica of anything at the Beit Hamikdash, even to learn. What?
One of the symbols, the Seder Israel has a menorah on it. I don't know which one. Does that ever become a problem?
Is it 7? How many is it?
I think it's
7?
7.
The symbol of the state of Israel is 7.
And it's metal.
It says you saw on the bottom of the olive branches coming up the sides.
I don't know if it's metal.
If it's not metal, then it's fine.
No, I understand. I'm just asking if they ever do put it in the metal. But
Rounded doesn't matter.
you don't know.
Normally hold it, it's diagonal.
Bladed would be fine.
There's a big one.
First
across-
of all-
there's actually a big one
first
across
of
the
all-
street.
First of all, even if it's not rounded, a menorah that's made here is also forbidden.
Why?
Because it's still 7. Any menorah with 7 branches says in halacha. Even if it's not the shape, even if it's round, triangular, it doesn't matter. That's number 1. Number two, there are opinions in poskim that say the menorah was round. There are a lot of them. Ezra learns like that. There are a lot of poskim that say, Farshim, and poskim in the Gemara that say, you see pictures of menorah, they'll tell you this is the Rambam, the diagram that the Rambam drew himself was diagonal. Rashi says it was diagonal.
The Rebbe have a sifra explaining why the other opinions could have been.
The Rebbe said it could be because that's what he saw in Shartitas. But LeBron, there are opinions in halacha in poskim that say the menorah was round in the Beit Hamikdash. And even if it was, if the menorah was round, even in the Beit Hamikdash, it would still be kosher anyway. That's not an issue.